All right, my friends, it's T-Man, and we are back with a beautifully a new video. It's on AlexLeonidas, man, you know who. Alpha Destiny, yes, AlexLeonidas. I'm gonna review this video, man. I have got nothing against AlexLeonidas. I like reviewing his videos. It's interesting. These are mostly for educational purposes, but you're gonna get these minions, man, all the time. They're gonna come over, man. You're hating. I'm not hating, I'm educating. That's totally different. All right, let's review this video by Alex. So Alex says the best push-ups for chest mass. Okay, the best push-ups for chest mass. He didn't say density, he said mass. Okay, mass. All right.
If you want to build a big chest from push-ups, then it's important to do them in a specific way.
Before I start, the reason why Alex is not growing, he is nothing. He's got nothing here. You're going to say he's got some muscles. No. He's got low body fat and he's got low body weight. His height to his age and the amount of muscle to body fat to his height and his age is this is it. This is it. What he has here. It's minimal. You want to know why? Because he reached an M&D size limit and he doesn't know how to get over it. AlexLeonidas has reached a myonuclear domain size limit. All right. To further that domain, the progenitor has to donate its nuclei to support further muscle growth, but it's not because the progenitor is not donating any more nuclei because it's beyond where it can donate any more exonuclei to that domain. You understand? Because it reached the ceiling limit during hypertrophic process. That hypertrophic process. And that's why you have to seek out new adaptations. And I'm not saying he may not have built some muscle. Definitely he's built some. And he does do quite a bit of things that he's unaccustomed to doing. So when people talk about, there's the 3 types of, hypertrophy. They're going to tell you, no, there's really 2 types of hypertrophy. But there are different ways of getting this hypertrophy. Well, it depends, yeah. So they'll say mechanical tension, stress, and or metabolic stress and muscle damage. But the truth is, muscle damage has a formula how it works. It only ever damages unaccustomedly or unfamiliar forms or untrained people get that damage. So going to a gym trying to seek muscle damage doesn't work with the other modalities because that's the formula to damaging muscles. Unaccustomed exercise is known to cause what? Widespread muscle damage. Unfamiliar forms cause muscle damage, and untrained people get damage. Now, you can be in an adapted state and get damaged if you're adapted. And you're not damaged. You're not anywhere in your body is not damaged, but you're just adapted to lifting these weights. If you do something rigorously that you're unfamiliar with, that you haven't done before, unaccustomed to doing that exercise, then you can get this damage to come back. Many people do. In an adapted state, they're adapted to their exercise, whatever, and they do sometimes something that they're unaccustomed to doing, sometimes rigorously, and they get that damage to come back. That's why people in bodybuilding, it's always no pain, no gain, friend. Get it? No pain, no gain. If there's no pain, there's no gain. And it's associated with DOMS, and DOMS is associated with ultra-structural muscle injury, and these are metamorphical changes in your body. They're architectural structures that are changing now when you get this damage. But not in the mass itself, because the mass itself is made up of a bunch of stuff, okay? When people say getting contractile proteins, think about sarcomeres. What are sarcomeres? They're contractile proteins. You get less of them, more of them. There's springy material in the muscle. They're used, for contractions, stuff like that. But you get a lot of glycogen in your muscle cells and in the sarcoplasm itself. This sarcoplasmic stuff, this glycogen, is made up of the cytoplasm of a cell. So really it's energy in, energy out. So you're really blowing up energy and expelling energy. You're increasing energy, lowering energy. The mass of a muscle fiber is based a lot on energy, glycogen. That's why now that you hit that so-called what you call newbie gain phase, you reached an M&D size limit and you don't know how to get over it. You get over it when you do new things that you're unaccustomed to doing. In other words, adaptations. You get them in adaptations. What is an adaptation? It means that you did something that you hadn't done before. I don't know what that is. Maybe you did more sets, repetitions. Maybe you did something vigorously. I can't tell you. It depends on what you're doing. You may be adapted, going to a gym, adapted to a lot of stuff you're doing, but occasionally you do something rigorous and you may be able to bring back this muscle damage. But damaging muscles, they don't damage all the time, like every single day and stuff, and they do require a repair and a remodeling. So there are a lot of things that go into building muscles, bro, but that mass is based a lot on sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, the mass of a muscle. They didn't talk about density. I'm talking about mass. It does not add to the density. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy does not add to the density. What adds to the density is myofibrillar hypertrophy, and that's based on muscle damage. And that is the only way to get over myonuclear domain size limit, is to be in an anabolic growth state, where if you're eating in an anabolic growth state, you suppress the catabolic hormone. You convert the catabolic hormone to an androgen so it doesn't have to compete with the myocytic androgen receptor. That will make you anabolic naturally. Now, that will push that domain, that myonuclear domain size limit. However, man, you still need to get muscle damage, so you damage muscles so the progenitor can get out of quiescence. Now, follistatin, myostatin cannot occupy the same space if the satellite cell is activated. And so now it can donate its nuclei, and then it can proliferate and differentiate into myoblast cells, fibroblast cells, and form new myotubes, and elongate and create more mass and create more muscle fibers. Okay, you can get more muscle fibers, get them longer, and even get more mass doing that. That's how you really build muscles. All right, let's hear what Alex has to say. It's complex, man. It's complicated.
Wait, right now, I'll be sharing my best form tips. So first, let me ask you a question. In the calisthenics community, who has the biggest pecs? Prison?
Who has the biggest glycogen pecs? Well, does Alex? Alex has got a lot of glycogen in there. He doesn't realize that it's based on energy. Energy in, energy out. People tell you calories in, calories out. Yeah.
Prisoners or soldiers? The answer is prisoners. And it's not because they have all this free time with the best genetics.
Again, him and the best genetics. He doesn't understand bodybuilding whatsoever. I'll prove it to you if you don't believe me. I'll bring something up here just to prove to you something, okay? So in this section here, if you read this, it says muscle metabolism. Muscles need energy to produce what? Contractions. Muscles need energy to produce contractions. The energy is derived from what? Adenosine tryptophosphate, ATP. What is ATP? Glycogen. It's an energy source, energy stores. Present in muscles. It's present in muscles. Okay. What kind of energy is stored in muscles? Glycogen is a form of glucose, a main source of energy that the body stores primarily in your liver and where? Muscles. See that? Okay. I don't need that one there. I'm going to read this next one. And so this may be important. I don't know. Just a second. Let me see if I can find it. Boop. Here it is. All right. So, is glycogen stored in the sarcoplasm? Is glycogen stored in the sarcoplasm? Well, sarcoplasm is the cytoplasm of a muscle cell. So, the sarcoplasm is that jelly-like stuff in the cell of the cytoplasm is made up of sarcoplasm. Okay, of a muscle cell. It is comparable to the cytoplasm of other cells. Oh, interesting. But it contains unusually large amounts of what? Glycogen. Unusual large amounts of glycogen. Energy. That's why if you want to get massively big muscles, eat a lot of starch, and that will convert to glucose or glycogen in the muscles, and it'll be stored. Remember, for every gram of glycogen, 3 grams of water are drawn between the skin and the muscle into the muscle. Really, what you're doing is energy out, energy in. You're exercising for no reason to expel energy in, expel energy out. Now, muscles are protected. I'll explain this too, okay? I got to go into a little bit more detail here. Maybe people need an explanation. They need help. A polymer of glucose, myoglobin, a red-colored protein necessary for binding oxygen molecules that diffuse into muscle fibers, and mitochondria. Yeah. Okay. So let me go in here in my channel. I'll show you something. Okay. Now that was sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Okay. It's a type of art that would be considered a type of artificial muscle growth. In my community section, I always post a lot of stuff. You know, I post lots of things in here. Okay, this is what it looks like. Myofibular hypertrophy, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, and myofibular packing. Now, why do you need some glucose? Because if you do damage muscle fibers, they need space to pop out, to fill up. They need space, and that creates the space. The sarcoplasmic hypertrophy around the cells, now inside here, all right, in this area. When that builds up in there as well, then that gives the space for the myofibular somewhere to go, right? But that's only if you're damaging muscles, and they don't damage all the time. So during a workout, more fluid moves into the muscles to provide energy. See, energy. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. See, there is such a thing called sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. There's a hypertrophy in myofibular. There's a hypertrophy in sarcoplasmic. It refers to the increase in the volume of fluid. It makes the muscles appear larger. It makes them appear larger, but it does not increase what? Strength. It does not increase strength. Now, what increases strength? Practicing. Practice increases strength. You see, an ant doesn't have to practice at lifting 10 times its body weight, an ant, because it's 75% of its body is made up of muscle. So it doesn't need to practice. What do you need to do to lift a heavy weight? You have to practice at it. You see what I mean? But it isn't based on getting more muscles. It's based on an adaptation principle of what we would call myocytic androgen receptor strength, therefore maximum force production and motor units. A proliferation of the nervous system, the motor units, and these androgen receptors, that's what you're really getting in the gym. You're not building more muscle. If you do build more real muscle, myofibular growth, definitely you will increase your natural strength. But you are lifting stuff with practiced strength. Ants don't practice to lift 10 times their body weight. But you as a human have to practice at lifting it. Get it, man? Yeah, dude. All right. So here's one section I want to read from you. And I took this, you can see it says journal.iww down here. It's from that section. So we all know eccentric exercise is associated with muscle damage. We know concentric is associated with force production. A force production. That's it. That's all it does. It doesn't make you physically stronger. It makes you physically stronger or better at force production. Okay? At a force produce. All right? Okay. We'll get that straight. Do we get that straight? An concentric contraction is a type of muscle activation that causes tension on the muscles as it shortens. As your muscle shortens, it generates what? Enough force to move an object. It generates enough force to move an object. So what are you doing? You're practicing at moving an object. You understand me? Get that straight, yeah. This is the most popular type of muscle contraction in weight training. It is the most popular one, the up force. A bicep curl is an easy to recognize concentric movement. It is. But it's also eccentric on the down force. So what is eccentric exercise associated with? Well, eccentric exercise leads to two shifts. Here's the two shifts, which you probably never knew. In the muscle's length tension relation, an initial damage related shift is followed several days later by an adaptation shift. What is this adaptation shift? What is the adaptation? It's the protective effect against any more muscle damage. It shifts an adaptation by doing what? By creating more myofibular growth, real muscles, not sarcoplasmic, but myofibular growth. In other words, it repairs and remodels itself stronger so that when you come back, like it says here, an adaptation shift, with the secondary shift comes what? The secondary shift comes protection for the muscle against what? Further muscle damage. So you're not getting damaged anymore. It's a protection. The muscle builds muscle. The body repairs and remodel. If you ever get muscle damage in your body, it will protect it from any more damage, so you won't build any more muscle. It's the protective effect from building any more muscle. Your body builds muscle to protect itself from building any more muscle with eccentric contractions. Yeah, man. So this whole mass thing that you're really growing, the mass, is really sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. It's a type of artificial muscle growth. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think a lot of people, they don't know that. The cytoplasm is the gelatinous liquid that fills the inside of a cell. It is comprised of water, salts, and various organic molecules. Yeah. Some intercellular organelles, such as the nucleus and mitochondria, are enclosed in the membranes that separate them from the cytoplasm. Yeah. Sarcoplasm is the cytoplasm of the muscle fiber. It is a water solution containing what? ATP. Phosphagens, as well as the enzymes and intermediate product molecules involved in many metabolic reactions. The most abundant metal in sarcoplasm is what? Potassium. We want a lot of potassium. You know, these doctors always talk about potassium, dude. Damn it. God damn it, man. So muscular hypertrophy or muscle growth refers to an increase in what? Muscle mass. There are two types of muscular hypertrophy. Oh, here it comes. Myofibrillar, which is an increase in myofibrils, and sarcoplasmic, which is an increase in muscle what? Glycogen storage, dude. Do you see that? Glycogen storage. Man, that really sucks. And it's through Medical News Today. You can read that on .com, dude. Yeah, man. And so people that come into the gym that are adapted, that are trained, you trained people in the gym. Muscle fiber hypertrophy in response to 6 weeks of what? High resistance training in trained young men is largely attributed to what? Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Remember, trained people, untrained individuals get what? Muscle damage. See that? Look, I'll explain this. Trained people get this glycogen stuff, the phony muscles, okay? So what do untrained people get? What happens to untrained muscles? All right, I'm going to look it up here. Look. Hold on a second. I think I missed that one. Oh, I'm writing in the wrong section. So eccentric exercise. So here, watch this. Watch what it tells you in NCBI. So here's NCBI, eccentric muscle contractions, risks and benefits. Okay, so what will get us this muscle damage? Okay, eccentric contractions characterized by lengthening muscle tendon complex, several unique features compared with what? Other types of contractions. Okay. Which may lead to unique adaptations. Due to specific psychological mechanical properties, there are, interestingly, eccentric muscle work, rehabilitation. So, right there, it says right there. See that at the top there? However, unaccustomed eccentric exercise is known to cause muscle damage and what? Delayed pain. Delayed pain is commonly defined as what? Delayed onset muscle soreness. Today, the most powerful preventative strategy to avoid what? These adverse effects consist of repeating sessions. So if you repeat sessions coming into the gym, you're adapted. Get it? You're not going to get this damage anymore. That too, that's one way. That's definitely one way. You're not going to get it. You're repeating stuff. Get it? You're adapted now. There's no more adaptations. Get it? Yeah, man. Plus, it's the protective effect. The muscle usually is protected from any more of these damages, especially even if you are coming often to the gym. So, yeah. So, despite an increase in number of investigations, focus on eccentric exercise, unraveling the molecule, muscle damage and soreness, help to uncover, additional, okay. And they'll tell you here somewhere untrained muscles. I don't know where it is right now. I can't look for it, okay? It tells you in here, untrained, unaccustomed, and unfamiliar forms get this damage, okay, dude? So that's how muscles get damaged. Like it says here, untrained individuals are usually unable to fully activate their muscles during maximal eccentric contractions further, and then untrained muscles get damaged, okay? And unaccustomed exercise is known to cause widespread muscle damage, and unfamiliar forms cause it as well. I'll even bring this up for you if you don't believe me. Unfamiliar forms. It's always unfamiliar, untrained. See unfamiliar forms right here. It is well accepted that damage occurs with unfamiliar exercise, primarily involving eccentric contractions. They even tell you right here, dude. See this? Can exercise-induced muscle damage be avoided? Can it be avoided? I don't know where that section is. You'd have to find it. I don't know. They always post it there at the top. I don't know exactly where it is, man. Shit. I don't know where it is. Here, hold on. It should be here somewhere. I don't know. They talk about repeated bout effect too in here. They talk about everything in this stuff. Okay, here it is. I found it. It is well accepted that damage occurs with what? Unfamiliar exercise. So why does unfamiliar things get you damaged? Why does unaccustomed get you damaged and untrained muscles get damaged? Why don't trained muscles get muscle damage? Why do trained muscles get sarcoplasmic hypertrophy? Why is that? It's an energy source. You're adapted. Energy in, energy out. Like Greg Doucette. Calories in, calories out. Dude, get it, man? Yeah. You want me to prove what that is? That DOMS really does exist? Okay, here. Just in case you guys on his channel don't know this, I'm going to educate you. I will educate you people, okay? Maybe you just don't know where to look, or you don't want to know how to look, or you don't know anything. I don't know. Maybe you don't know nothing. Well, this one's a good one too, actually, but I'm not going to talk about that one. Let's talk of DOMS, part 1. There it is. Okay, delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, part 1, yes. A delayed muscle soreness, DOMS, is a type of what? Ultrastructural muscle injury. The manifestation of DOMS is caused by eccentric or what? Eccentric or unfamiliar forms of what? Exercise. They didn't say familiar, they said unfamiliar forms of exercise. These are adaptations in muscle. So you should try to get as many adaptations as you can so you can get a repair and remodeling and you'll gain more real muscles. If you do it that way, you can do it that way, but there's other ways to get this, to gain more muscle. There are other modalities to get this, to grow more of these myofibrillar growths, even though you guys call it newbie gains, you reached a domain size limit. I'll bring that up in a second too. So DOMS is a type of, the manifestation of DOMS is caused by eccentric or unfamiliar forms of exercise. See that? What is it associated with? Force capacity. Well, reduced force capacities, increased pain, restriction of movement, stiffness, swelling, and dysfunction of adjacent joints. And remember, when you get this, it takes 7 days to repair and remodel, sometimes 14 days, it depends. Okay, so what is this? Its primary mechanisms of currently considered ultrastructural damage of muscle cells due to unfamiliar sporting, you can get in sporting activities, or eccentric exercise, which leads to what? Further protein degradation, apoptosis, and local inflammatory response. There you go, man. See what I mean? Okay, so it does exist, bro. It does exist. And just in case you may not know this, there's something called myonuclear domain size limit. This is just to educate you people. Myonuclear domain size limit. This thing has a limit. So MND size has a ceiling limit during hypertrophic process, beyond which extra myonuclei are donated by satellite cell to what? To support further muscle growth. To support further muscle growth. It's beyond it. How do you get more of them? Well, I just told you, in an adaptation will get you more of them. You have to wake up that progenitor cell, the satellite cell, get it? It only happens in what? Muscle damage. But remember what it said there, muscle damage, it's protected. That's the secondary shift. I read it to you here in my community. Remember in my community section? What does it say there? What does it tell you here? It says eccentric exercise leads to two shifts. There are two shifts. The first shift is what? In the muscle's length tension relation, an initial damage related shift is followed. Yes, that is the initial shift. There's a damage related shift that follows several days after by an adaptation shift. And what is that? With a secondary shift comes what? Comes protection for the muscle against what? Further damage. The second shift is protection against what? Further damage. There's no more damage, so there's no more growth. Get it? And you all call it, I reached my genetic limit, newbie gains limit, and a bunch of weird stuff, man. But anyways, now let's go back to this. I don't want to interrupt this video anymore. Enough education here, dude.
Although that's a factor, I believe it's the way they do push-ups which has contributed to this biasing effect. And science corroborates this as well. What I mean is, they skipped a lockout on their push-ups, which is a lengthened partial. Now, why is this so effective for push-ups? Well,
basically, he's just doing these things to get good at them. That's why I told you I'm an athlete. I'm athletic. I've ran marathons. I've done a strongman competition. I've done a triathlon. I've done a whole bunch of stuff, bro. Get it? Like, I've done all kinds of stuff. I ran sprints. I play basketball. I swim. I was on a diving team. I was on a swimming team. Man, I did every kind of sport that you can imagine. I was even in gymnastics. So you eke out more of these adaptations. When you do these things, you can get more adaptations through them. Now, me, I really hate lifting. I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth is, as I get older, I really hate lifting. I really hate it. When I was younger, I never really particularly liked it either. I wanted to accomplish my goals, so I had to do that to accomplish my goals. But I really hated it. But I have very good knowledge in it. That's the problem. See, how am I able to find all the answers? Because experience taught me that. When you have real life experience, you can find the answers that people did tests on. Get it? I know where to look for everything.
just like the barbell bench press, the floor is restricting you. So at the top, you will notice that there is no converging effect. I can't get my humerus across the body. Therefore, there is no squeeze. For that, you would need to use cables, dumbbells, or rings, which I'll be showing you later. Therefore, it's the stretching aspect that's building the chest. And when you do the top portion, this right here is shoulders and triceps, especially if you're protracting. Now, there's really no tension on the chest. Now, you might think the benefits are due to time retention, but that is not a mechanism.
Yeah, I'll explain this. If you want to get better at this force production, then just focus on doing the concentric movement. Do not focus on the eccentric. Do as many concentric without eccentric movements. Do as many as you can. You're going to have to figure out how you do them without the eccentric movement. There is a way to do them. It's not hard to do them. It's not hard to do concentric movements without eccentric. Also, if you want muscle damage, then you can also do negative eccentric movements to get more muscle damage, or focus on eccentric movements. You understand me? There's a way of even doing eccentric without the concentric movement. There are ways of doing eccentric without concentric. There are machines that actually cause that. For example, there's a foot pedal on the bench, a sitting bench machine. There's a machine that you could bench with, right? It's got a stack of weight there, whatever, and it's got a push pedal in the front. You can literally push the whole stack forward with your legs and just do the eccentric movement without doing the concentric. Now, you can do on that same machine, you can do all eccentric or concentric movements. You can just do the concentric and then put your feet on the pedal and let it go backward without doing the eccentric movement. See that? So there are machines and certain things that you could do just to get the eccentric or concentric movement. So if you just want to move for force capacities, then focus on a lot of as many concentric movements as you can. Do not focus on eccentric. Now, if you want muscle damage, then focus on a lot of eccentric movements and do a lot of them. And remember, unaccustomed exercise is known to cause what? Widespread muscle damage. Now, even if you have a concentric in that movement doing eccentric, if it's unaccustomed or unfamiliar, you're going to get damaged. And then there will be a repair and a remodeling and adaptation. But again, it'll move into a secondary shift. That secondary shift is protecting muscle from any more damage. That's why you're not building any more muscle. But you can build sarcoplasmic muscles because it's based on glycogen. And it can load a hell of a lot in there. Remember what it said there? It loads a lot inside. Did I read that one to you? I don't know if I read that. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know. Hold on a second. I probably did, man. It's in my community section too. Hold on. I don't know if it's here somewhere. No, not that one. No. I don't remember now where it was. I think I had a graph here somewhere. I just don't know where I put them all. I put so much stuff here I can't find it. I think we talked about it anyways. Yeah. We talked about it. Can load a lot of glycogen in there. That map that I showed you previously. Okay. But anyway, yeah.
For hypertrophy, it makes no difference whether you're on the floor for 60 seconds or 2 minutes, provided that you go to failure.
Wait, let me go back to, because I don't want to mislead anybody, man. Hold on a second. I don't remember where it was. I don't know if I talked about it. I can't remember now, man, because we were talking so much. I might have lost it. I don't know where it was. There was a graph there. Here it is. Yeah, I think we did talk about it. It contains usually large amounts of what? Glycogen. But it contains usually large amounts of glycogen. Yes, the sarcoplasm. Yeah, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Okay. Just so we clear that up, man. Okay.
And the thing is, when you do what the prisoners call baby reps, which they thought was because you're pumping blood into your pecs like you would pump air into a balloon or a bike tire.
Yes, you're pumping glycogen. For every gram of glycogen, 3 grams of water are drawing the skin and muscle into the muscle. It's an energy source. You're blowing up your muscles with energy like triglyceride. Triglyceride in fat cells is an energy source. Now, what's the energy source in muscle? Glycogen. And it can be stored in the liver, and a lot of it can be stored in the muscles, like it said there.
Do it that way, you're hitting failure in the pecs, while the triceps and shoulders have many reps in reserve. So that's what makes it so effective when you do all this volume. And this works very well for down workouts. So now I'm going to show you how to do them. It's really simple. Go all the way down, chin touching
He's really tiny, man. His body weight is really small. He's really tiny.
the ground, or having your head forward. This way you get even more stretch. So you could hyperextend your neck a little bit if you want. Come up to the halfway point and back down.
You know, ants can lift 10 times their body weight. Does that mean they're strong? Well, when you come around, you're bigger, right? You step on them like what? Like cockroaches. Even if they can lift 10 times their body weight, who cares?
And do it fast.
You think a big person is scared of AlexLeonidas? You think he's stronger than somebody weighing over 250? Alex weighs like what, 150, maybe 160. I don't even know what he weighs. 150, 160, maybe 140. Who knows? And he's like 5'4", okay? So a person that's over 6 feet tall, weighing over 250, 60, 70 pounds, 80 or whatever, you think they're scared of AlexLeonidas? Man, that he can lift all these things. He can produce a force. He can produce some force by pushing things and doing certain things in the gym. He's good at lifting these mechanical things in a gym or in his backyard or his whatever this is, his bedroom.
It might look like your ego lifting, but trust me, it's all pec. You have the stability from the floor, and you can bang out a lot of reps. That's it. You don't need to do full range of motion if you're just trying to grow your pecs, which is the point of this video. Most of the time, I do full range. So let's get that clear. But if you just want to be big, try doing the prisoner.
You don't have to do full range of motion to build your pecs. You don't have to do full range of motion. What you have to do is just eat more starch, which will convert to glycogen in the muscle, and that'll blow up your muscles with sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. That'll build the mass in your muscles. You understand me? Now, as far as contractile proteins, well, they are being broken down and building up. You know what I mean? There's not a lot going on there. It's usually in the sarcomeres. Okay, but you can grow more sarcomere in series, but how? Through muscle damage. That's how you get them. You don't get them by pumping yourself up with blood. You don't get more of these sarcomere numbers. The only thing you're doing there is breaking proteins down and building them up, but they're always breaking down and building up all the time. Every day you wake up in the morning, go to work, brush your teeth, proteins are being broken down and built up. So what are you doing when you're exercising in the gym? Well, they say, well, I'm opening a window for protein synthesis. Okay, you are opening a window for protein synthesis, but guess what? It's a window for protein breakdown. There's really just a protein turnover there. Want to know why? Because you don't build muscles. Muscles, they don't build doing exercise. Muscles build when they get damaged. I'm talking about real muscles like myofibrillar growth and sarcomere number in series. They get built in muscle damage, but then they're protected after they repair and remodel bigger and stronger. When they repair bigger and stronger through a repair mechanism, lengthwise, and sometimes they even give you some extra fibers, depending. That'll be more protection, becomes more resilient from this damage, and that makes it even harder. And so, they get longer, and plus they get a little bit bigger. They get a little bit bigger through what? Well, because the density, they've gotten a little bit bigger. And then you get some of this sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, the glucose, the glycogen in the muscles. Most people are just pumping up their muscles with glycogen, and they're getting an inflammatory response constantly. They're constantly lifting like a lifting gym slave in the gym, and they're just blowing up their muscles. They don't realize their muscles are made up of sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. That's why people are telling you, if you do this exercise, your muscles you'll grow your muscles. But how can gyms grow muscles if muscles are damaged? They're micro injured. If they're injured, they have to go through repair and remodeling. If you injure your finger and cut it with a knife, doesn't it have to repair and remodel itself? Yeah, it's got to repair itself, dude.
Way. And there are levels to this. The way I just showed you is exaggerated. That's the highest form of prisoner push-ups. Yeah, you're turning it more into an isolation, if you will. But if you want to do a soft lockout, that's great too.
Yeah. Why do you think I always laugh at people in my old videos on my old channel? I used to say hypering and atrophying. Then they used to make fun of me. Hypering and atrophying. Master T says hypering and atrophies. Hypering and atrophying. Yeah, man, you guys are hypering and atrophying. And what are they? Inflammatory response. You're constantly going into the gym to inflame your muscles. And those who are eating enough, of course, those who are eating enough glycogen, or should I say starch, then yeah, if the glycogen exceeds breakdown, then okay, yeah, if there's enough of it, then you'll build that up as well. But most people don't eat enough of that to even restore that part. They don't even eat enough to restore that part, get it? So then they can't figure out why they're shrinking. You're shrinking because it's based on energy. Energy in, energy out. Calories in, calories out, bro, get it? Muscles are built up of energy. And so are fat cells. They're built up of energy. Where do these energies store? What it stores in muscles? Glycogen. What stores in fat cells? Triglyceride. Get it, dude?
Really concerned about the foreign police coming after you? You just can't undo.
Why do you think in science they say if you get old and your muscles start to shrink, let's say they atrophy, they turn into glucose, and that can turn you into a diabetic. Your muscles can literally make you into a diabetic because they turn into glucose. They don't turn into fat. Muscles don't turn into fat. They turn into sugar. Get it, bro? Because the cytoplasm is made of sarcoplasm. And what is sarcoplasmic? Glycogen, like it said there in science. Hello?
That full range, okay. Just leave the quarter off.
Why do you think it's an unhealthy sport? These guys on steroids, they are retaining so much of this sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, this glycogen in the muscle, it becomes toxic. I think people don't realize that. If you were to drink 4 liters of water in one shot, it's toxic to your brain. You could die, maybe go to the hospital or something, I don't know. It's very toxic to be carrying all that sarcoplasmic hypertrophy in your muscles. It's horrendously bad for your health. Why do you think they say that bodybuilding is bad for your health? Why is it bad for your health? Because people are crazy. They're putting all this energy in there. Too much energy in there becomes toxic. Get it? It's toxic. It's toxicity. And steroids are toxic themselves because they're from plants. There's a buildup of toxicity through an adaptation process. The more the steroids adapt, your body adapts to it by protecting it from it not working anymore. You inject higher dosages, and with higher dosages come higher toxicity. So with higher glycogen stores in the muscle comes higher what? Higher toxicity, a higher chance of fucking dying from I don't know what. Maybe heart disease, could be anything. So why is the sport unhealthy? Because a lot of people are not building real muscle because they don't understand that it's based on an adaptation process, dude.
So true full range of motion is being like this, all the way down, all the way up. And the elbows are locked. And know that doesn't destroy your elbows, it strengthens them. Anyway, you want to stop right about here. Or soft lock out. So see how I'm not?
The only thing he's doing with push-ups is pumping glycogen into the muscle. Remember, for every gram of glycogen, 3 grams of water are drawn between the skin and the muscle into the muscle. You understand me? I'm not saying he's not producing some force here by bouncing up and down. There is a concentric movement here, which will increase force production in what? In androgen, myocytic androgen receptor force production strength. Okay. But he's not getting muscle damage. I can tell you that. So what is this? Energy in, energy out. This is based on glycogen. He's pumping. He's going to get a pump. He's going to get a bunch of stuff, blood in there, and it's glycogen, bro. He's just pumping glycogen in his muscle. This is like watching somebody with a bicycle pump. They're pumping. What are they pumping? They're pumping glycogen, in this case, into the muscles, into the cells of the muscles and the sarcoplasm, yes.
Getting to this point, it's just here. So
okay, I'll explain this in a little bit more detail so you understand. If you are adapted, if you are a trained person, then you are sarcoplasmic training. This is sarcoplasma training if you are adapted. If you are adapted, that means no more adaptation. That means no more muscle damage. When does muscles get damaged and repair and remodel bigger and stronger? Untrained muscles get it, unfamiliar forms get it, and untrained people get it. And like I said, unfamiliar forms and untrained and unaccustomed exercise gets muscle damage. Now, does he look like he's unaccustomed to doing push-ups? Does it look like he's unfamiliar with push-ups? Is he untrained doing these push-ups? No. You understand me? He's done them. It's done. It's over with. It's done. They repaired and remodeled stronger. Now they're resilient from any more muscle damage. Okay, if they're resilient from any more muscle damage, what is his training based on now? Him doing push-ups. Well, you may get some force production, okay? It's not tangible. It's force. It's a force. It's through chemical and some myocytic androgen receptors binding with each other, giving you more of that force. Okay, there's an accumulation in there. That too is an adaptation process. You understand me? Okay. So what is he getting here? Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. He's pumping glycogen, energy into the muscles, into the cells.
It's cleaner than this. For those who really are judgmental and just don't want to listen to me, even though the prisoners have bigger chests than a lot of us.
The prisoners have a bigger chest than a lot of you because the prisoners have nothing to do all day but push-ups by pumping more glycogen into the muscle. They're pumping and pumping glycogen. They eat a slave diet in the prison, dude. They eat a lot of carbohydrates. You think they're going to give them steak every day to eat, dude? They're going to give them carbs and a lot of carbs. And what are these prisoners going to do? They're going to move weights around. They're going to pump weights like crazy around. I've done sarcoplasmic training on my old channel. I did reports. I put stuff there. I showed myself. I go, look, 5 weeks sarcoplasmic hypertrophy training. Look, 20 pounds of muscle, working out once a week for 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks straight, and I got 20 pounds. What's that 20 pounds? Nothing. I ate a bunch of bags of potatoes. 50-pound bag of potatoes. Hello, dude. That doesn't mean it's muscle. Yeah, there's muscle. The muscle got bigger, but it's artificial muscle growth. It's a type of artificial muscle growth because it's based on fluid. It isn't based on myofibrillar growth. But building myofibrillars is extremely difficult, bro. Almost out of this planet, out of this world, dude.
So do what you want. Regardless, skip the lockout. Not because
That's why I say these type of gurus, they don't have the knowledge. They lack this experience and knowledge because they're not old school. They're new school, and their new school is like, I don't know, it's the shit school. Get it?
the TUT, but to introduce a full.
They're all leeching off of each other. He loves West Side and all these fake guys. He keeps talking about steroid. He's confused. He moves from steroid guys, prisoners that take steroids, to this guy, to that guy. He can't stay with natties. He does talk with natties, but he doesn't know who's natty, who's not natty. He thinks sometimes natty people that are fake are natty and this, that, blah, blah, blah.
Form of lengthened partials, which the science confirms is legit. So now we know why these guys got so huge. That said, you can get...
No, that's not why they got so huge. They got so huge because they took steroids, and testosterone is known to draw what? More glycogen. This energy draws energy into the muscle, increasing the muscle mass. How is muscle mass increased? Through glycogen. Get it, dude? Muscle mass is increased through glycogen. Now, how do you increase the density of muscles? Through muscle damage. Fuck me.
even more stretch by simply elevating your feet. This turns the exercise into an incline bench press, but in fact, we are doing a decline push-up. So not only are we getting more range of motion in the bottom, but we're also biasing the upper chest. I recommend using a bench or plyometric box 12 to 15 inches high. You go beyond that point and it becomes like a high incline, which just in the lifting world, it's gonna be a lot more delts. All right, the key is to keep your butt a little bit up, not extended. This is where you're turning it into a flat push-up. Have a posterior pelvic tilt, similar to a pike push-up. You can extend the neck a little bit, or the upper back, go all the way down, and then stop here. Also, I found that close...
Exactly. What is he exactly doing here? Nothing. The first part, he's getting better at doing what? Push-ups. Number two, what else is he getting better at doing? Increasing the muscle mass. And how is it increasing? Glycogen, energy. Without energy, you couldn't push through your workouts like it says in science there. I don't know if I even showed that. I don't remember. I think I showed that there, didn't I? It tells you that without that energy, when it goes down, you can't work out. You'll be dead. You'll be dead. You won't be able to, the muscle will not be able to contract without that energy.
So grips work best with decline push-ups. In fact, diamond is my absolute favorite. Even though that's more so for triceps, you want vertical...
I'm not saying that push-ups will not make you jacked. They'll make you look jacked. Okay? I'm just using science to explain to you what that jackness is based on. Get it, man? That's it. I'm just explaining what it's based on, okay? That's all I'm doing.
Arms on this, because if the arms are too wide, then it'll affect the decline height. You may have to elevate it further. So a good rule of thumb is having your hands right outside your pec. If you go out here, it's just awkward. Like you could feel your lower back in a weird way. I wish I can give you a better explanation, but I can't. It's something you gotta feel. Narrow is best. And now you can actually flex the legs this way. But like I said, my favorite is diamond because all you gotta do is let it touch the chest. And it just feels clean. Like, you don't have to worry as much what's going on with your lower body. Everything is level and you're just in that perfect groove. Again, just try.
I can tell he's holding a lot of sarcoplasmic fluid in his body because the muscle's kind of puffy. He may have low body fat because he's an ectomorph, but it's puffy. And that puffiness is sarcoplasmic. If you're on a carnivore diet, eating pure protein, you're draining a lot of this sarcoplasmic, this fluid out of your body. There'll still be some there because your body makes ketones, right? It's impossible to get rid of all of it. You need that energy. Your body will start producing ketones if it's a necessity. It'll produce it without you having to eat any of this glucose. So yeah, there'll still be something there, but you won't look so pumped on a pure protein diet. That's why a lot of people eat carbohydrates. They eat a lot of carbohydrates and they get this puffy look.
You'll know what I mean. But keep in mind, that's just what works for me. And in fact, you can never really go wrong off doing push-ups from a plyometric box. It's a good blend. If you feel this too much in your shoulders, by going higher, then take it down a couple inches. And here you go.
Yeah, you could do different variations to try to eke out a different, how should I put it? A different adaptation. If you use a different variation, you may be able to eke out a different adaptation. It depends. If you're using cables, push-ups, dumbbells, barbells, and maybe, I don't know, incline, decline, flat, depending on what you're doing, it's all dependent. A lot of people also do dips. Dips are, the chest is involved in the dip a lot. So that could be a different variation. But you may have already maxed out all these adaptations that you can on a lot of these. You've maxed them all out. Now, how do you get more adaptations? Well, people will tell you lift heavier. You have to move for heavier weight to get more adaptations. But sometimes it doesn't work that way the way you think it does in a cluster set. These guys are all doing cluster sets. That's their problem. They don't realize that it's based on an overworking of that unfamiliar form. Get it? It's an overworking of an untrained muscle. You overwork that muscle to get that damage, lifting that heavy weight. That's how it does it. That's how it does it. It doesn't do it in a cluster set, like short sets and short reps. Get it in between. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in drop sets, and it definitely not in drop sets because now you're going lighter. You're supposed to be going heavier, and it definitely is not going to work in supersetting. That's fatiguing muscles. You're fatiguing. That will get you more sarcoplasmic. There'll be a window for sarcoplasmic. Remember, when you leave the gym, there are two types of windows. There's a window for protein synthesis because you're always breaking down proteins. They're building up, breaking down. That doesn't mean they're going to build up forever. It's sky high. You remember, I'm going to explain this. Muscles do not store protein as energy. They store glucose or glycogen as energy in the muscle. And that's what blows up the muscle. Now, you can build muscle cells through muscle damage, but you cannot store protein as energy in the muscle. Get it? By lifting weights or pumping all day. The only thing you're going to grow there are these sarcoplasmic artificial muscles. You understand me? Through glucose, glycogen. That's what it is. I'm sorry, man. I know the truth sucks for all of you. I'm a hater, yes. Master T, you're hating on us. You're hating by telling us the truth. You're hating on us. Yes, I hate all of you, yes. By putting out the knowledge, by putting out the real knowledge out there, explaining it to you as best as I can. In my head, I understand all of it. To explain it, I may not be the best person on the internet to explain it, but I'm the only person that's knowledgeable on it out there because nobody else is, and nobody else else is explaining it to you like I do. Like I tell you the truth, how it really works. And I've done sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. I've done muscle damage on my channel. On my old channel, everybody attacked me. They tried to take my channel down. They finally took it down. YouTube and them, the people, Blaha and everybody, they took my channel down. And then I made a new channel. I came back stronger than the last time. So what does that say to you? Somebody that came back stronger in 2-3 months. In 2 months, I built my channel to 1,000 subs so rapidly, so fast. Boom, get it, guy? So what does that say? Persistence, knowledge, experience, get it?
Could use a more normal grip because your body is flat. It's like you have super long legs. So you get more stretch.
More stretch. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate everything that Alex is doing on his channel. He's taking you on an adventure. It's called an adventure of experience. He's gaining experience. He's learning. And sometimes people, my mom once told me, you learn all your life and you die stupid. And that's true. We learn all our life and we still die stupid because we can't possibly know everything. We could try, but we don't know everything. And it's hard to know everything. It's impossible.
The equivalent.
Because we don't know everything. If we knew something, we wouldn't be here. You understand me? You wouldn't have to be going through all this and doing all this or reading people's plans or buying their diet books or anything. If you knew something, then why are you buying it?
Of doing a 15-degree incline bench at the gym. It may or may not be more upper chest, but it is more chest, period, given the increased range of motion in the body. And remember,
look, he got pumped up. The pump is transient. And I know he's eating carbs. He's doing something to get ripped, but he's still eating carbs. He's doing something, and I don't know what it is.
Even if you skip the lockout, that's still more range of motion than doing a full range of motion push-up from the floor. So you have to look at the degrees of joint angles as it pertains to the bottom arm bend, not the entire arm extension. Now, if you're a true beast and fully on board with this weighted stretching philosophy, then definitely try deficit push-ups. Weighted is my favorite, but higher reps work too. In fact, if you stick to the 20 to 30 zone and you slow down that tempo, you're probably good with just your body weight. Ideally, you want the stall mats or plyometric boxes to be 10 to 15 inches high, or simply put, equal to the rear support, which could be another plyometric box or bench. Now, if you can't get it fully level, that's fine. At least try to get it somewhat close. And in this case, it's not a bad thing that your feet are slightly elevated. If anything, you're doing a minor decline deficit push-up, which is arguably even more stretch on the pecs. So work with what you got. Don't overcomplicate this up.
Okay, so you get a stretch on the pecs, and what about it? You get a stretch on the pecs. Will the stretch help to build up some, I don't know, some proteins on there? It's a possibility. Can't really tell you everything about that. It's hard to say. So yeah, man, I don't know. Let's hear what else he has to say.
If you can't even elevate the feet, that's still fine. In this way, you have a weighted dip replacement. So this is an incline push-up. I'm getting the stretch at the bottom, but the leverages are easier because my feet are below.
Okay, he's getting a stretch, but the muscle's protected from any more muscle damage. It's protected, remember? Okay, but he's getting a stretch. He's stretching it, constantly stretching it. Okay, maybe there's a buildup of some proteins in there. There may be some buildups of proteins. That's about it. But protein is not a storage unit for muscles. They don't store proteins as energy, dude. Glycogen is stored in muscles as energy, and that's why they get these. That's why there's two types of hypertrophy, myofibular and sarcoplasmic.
It's literally a weighted dip done on the floor, but it's more stable. There's no leg swinging around. Now, the issue might be loading because you can go so heavy, easily 200 pounds or more if you're a strong dude. But still, the muscular biasing effect, this is lower chest, and you're not compromising the bottom range of motion, which is what we're looking for, okay? So that's one way to do it. But what I recommend is having the feet be the same height or slightly above. So let me show you that now. So we are in what I would call the perfect position. Now, you want to go all the way down, get the full stretch on the pecs. Here, it's fine if you arch a little bit because that's not what we're doing this for.
You know, people that go to gyms or people that go and they go in the field running around, they do stretching too, right? Before they run or do their exercise, they stretch. They stretch, they this and that. You know what stretching does? It weakens you. If you stretch before you do any of these things, it'll weaken you. Yeah, it'll weaken you, trust me. Because you've disrupted something in there, in the sarcomeres.
It's not to hit the upper chest harder. So get that full stretch and then come up right here. So not fully protracted, leave a little bit of tension. Boom. Boom. Wow. That is stretching your pecs more than a bench press and arguably more than a dip.
Okay, if you're unfamiliar to doing these things or unaccustomed to doing them, definitely, and or untrained doing that, the way he just did it, all the way fully between these two things, could getting this stretch, then yeah, I would say your muscles would get damaged. Now, what do you do after they get damaged? Go and eat for a couple of hours. Eat all day, all night if you can for the rest of the week. Eat a lot. Be in an anabolic growth state so that the protein synthesis will extend for the entire week and blood levels will be elevated for that entire week during the what? The repair and the remodeling of these fucking new muscles. Hello?
Heading in range, and with this exact height, you're not going to overly stretch the shoulders because sometimes by going a little bit deeper, it's not necessarily.
Again, people are really confused how muscles are built. Look, man, if you want to build phony muscles, these energy muscles, then go to the gym and keep lifting every day and keep pumping. Keep doing like everybody else. I got the pump, this, transient, get the inflammatory response, walk around with inflamed muscles, the pump and all that, and pump more of this glycogen in your muscles and look like him, talking about crazy, stupid, crazy shit. But if you want to build muscles, then you're going to have to get adaptations. And they only happen what? Unfamiliar, unaccustomed, untrained. Hello. That's right. So, and then they go through what? A repair and a remodeling. That's how you build real muscles. Get it? Yeah, man. Yeah. Now, if you want to get good at lifting a heavy weight, what do you have to focus on? Concentric movements, concentric force, a force production. Why do you think they show you this guy? Sometimes they do it, these trainer guys, they show him on YouTube, and the guy goes, take this bar and bang it against this bar in the opposite direction, against the concentric movement, and go like this, and that will help you build more strength. Build more strength at what? It'll build you more what? More force production. See, listen to the word. Listen to the word. It will build you more what? More force. What's force? Force production. Okay, how do you build more strength? By building more muscles. Duh. How do you build more physical strength? By building more muscles. And how are they built? Through a repair and a remodel, through muscle damage. But it can only happen what? In an adaptation. Duh. Now, how do you build sarcoplasmic hypertrophy? By coming in often, frequently into the gym. And glycogen synthesis exceeds this breakdown. Boom! And you're gonna blow up like a balloon. Get it? Now, how do you get inflammatory response? By keep coming into the gym often, get inflamed muscles all the time. That's it. That's all you're getting there. You understand me, man? You understand how bodybuilding and how lifting and powerlifting works. Why don't powerlifters look bigger than bodybuilders? Because bodybuilders do eccentric, concentric. They do fucking accessory work and lifting this and that. They're getting a lot of sarcoplasmic hypertrophy muscles, bro. Get it? I'm not saying they didn't get some damage and maybe they got a donation of these nuclei to synthesize proteins and stuff like that. But the synthesizing of protein is a repair and a remodeling to increase that domain. You can't store protein as energy in a fucking muscle, bro. Get it? Christ.
More pec. So this is as low as my body wants to go for my build. Again, adjust the height accordingly. Notice the arm band, you're getting low like a dumbbell fly, but it's in a compound movement. And you can even do mechanical drop sets. So you have the feet up and then get back down. Oh yeah. Hip failure. And then get.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, if you want to do that and you're adapted to doing this, you're just going to do some flimsy workout like 10 reps, this, that, 5 reps or whatever, cluster sets or some bullshit. Yeah, you're adapted. There's nothing going on there. Now, if you do that and you do something doing that you were unfamiliar with, you never did before, like I don't know. Maybe you did that and you did like your sets were now like in the 40 range or something. You did sets of 40. You did like maybe 15 sets of, 40 repetitions per set. Now that's a lot, isn't it? Well, that would definitely be unaccustomed or unfamiliar because you never did it before. That most likely will eke out an adaptation. Okay, dude.
Back down on the floor. Boom. This will feel like a partial rep. Like once you use the deficit push-ups, going back to the floor is a complete joke. So if you want to make this a complete replacement, I'm cool with that too. Again, the goal is...
Again, if you want to look small and puffy like Alex, small and puffy, and have these energy muscles, these glycogen muscles, these sarcoplasmic hypertrophy muscles to hypertrophy them by lifting weights in the gym, it's really easy. Energy in, energy out, dude. Energy in, energy out. Muscles can hold a lot of energy, but protein, they don't absorb, they don't hold protein as energy. Impossible. It holds glycogen as energy in muscle cells. You can try to drill this in my head and try to convince me that somehow protein is being stored as energy in a muscle cells, but I'm gonna fucking tell you right now, impossible. Go ahead and try to debunk that, dude.
Pectoral hypertrophy. Now for all my strong guys out there, and this will go for every variation of push-up I show you today.
Yes, pectoral sarcoplasmic artificial muscle growth hypertrophy. Yes, Alex, yes.
Okay, feel free to go weight it. Now, I like using a chain because it'll kind of mold into the backpack. So it's like sand. It's easy to come in and out, no problems. And you can stack a whole bunch of them. Then if you mix in a couple weight plates, you're good. And for those, I recommend 10 pounders or at most 25. Don't try the 45 or else the bag's gonna be stabbing you.
It definitely makes you look good. Like aesthetically, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy with low body fat will make you look good. It doesn't. It definitely makes you look. It makes you look good. I'm not saying it doesn't, because that's what bodybuilding is based on. But real bodybuilding, if you're building real muscles, well, that's a feat to build real muscles because it's based on an adaptation process. Remember, no pain, friends, no gain, dude.
In the back in weird directions, and it'll hurt your scapulohumeral rhythm. So use smaller plates or even those rucking plates, okay? So you got a bit of load in here. Now, to get into position, just put it on the plyometric box right behind you, and there you go. Legs up, no problem. Stretch. Boom. I'm not exaggerating the slowness, but I am pausing the bottom. As long as you do that, you train hard till failure. Ooh, you're good. And there's no fear of injury because if you do fail, right? You end up here and you put the legs out, no problem. So a good strength standard for this is 100 pounds, 4 sets of 10. That's hard even.
Again, Larry Wheels. Larry Wheels has sarcoplasmic muscles that they do not add to the strength. Now, what does Larry Wheels have? Steroids. And what does he have? A force produced. Okay, these arm wrestling guys, they do a lot of adaptation work. Get it? They've got a lot of physical damage in their arms. Okay, so why can't Larry Wheels, why couldn't he beat any of these arm wrestlers? He could lift 1,000 pounds off the floor, bro. 1,000 pounds, 900, whatever. He can lift 900 pounds off the floor. That's a lot of weight. I don't know any arm wrestlers that can lift 900 pounds off the floor. So why does Larry Wheels lose to these smaller guys? Why does he lose? If he can lift all that weight, he's got all this force production. He's so strong lifting a heavy weight. Want to know why? Because it's based on fucking physical strength, dude. It isn't based on force production. It's based on physical strength. Look, any wrestling sport or anything is based on physical strength. Now, strongman is based on both physical and a force production. You could say it's based on both, strongman competition. So if you're not good at both, you're going to have a big problem. You're going to have a problem. You may not. It depends. It depends on the person. I can't tell you for sure. But I've seen strongmen that lost to arm wrestling guys. So, see what I mean? Because they never eked out any adaptations there in muscular strength. Just force production, a force produce. You can't feel or touch or see a force. You understand me? You can't touch or feel or see it, but you can see a muscle. You can see muscle. You understand me? You can see it, but it can fool you too because it could be sarcoplasmic energy. Energy doesn't give you strength. It just makes you enhanced. It makes you better at doing that. That's why they call steroids enhanced performing drugs. They enhance your performance. They don't build muscles, get it? But you're going to say, but they take these injections and their muscles get big. They do get big through glycogen. They load a lot more glycogen than you can imagine in there. And why are they so sick? Why is it unhealthy? Because it's unhealthy to load all that glycogen in there. It's toxic. It builds up. It's toxicity. It's toxic, bro. You understand me? It's toxic. And the steroids themselves are toxic. They're toxic. It's toxicity. That's why they don't last very long in competition. They go for a while and then they got to retire fast. Even these power lifters on steroids, they got to get off of it quickly. The power lifters, how are they getting big too? Well, a lot of them too are adapted, and a lot of their stuff is fluid as well. Their muscles, they're fluid, they're fluidic, get it? And that too. And they're not pumping enough of it in there. That's why they're not as big as bodybuilders. Bodybuilders are doing repetition work. And power lifters are shooting for what? Force produced. A force production. Get it? They're not shooting to gain more energy in the muscle fiber or trying to do a repair and a remodeling. Now that's the hardest. The hardest in all bodybuilding is the repair, is damaging muscles and repairing and remodeling. Remember, they're protected. There's something called the repeated bout effect phenomenon. It protects muscle from a repeated bout of muscle damage. It's an adaptation process, bro. Get it?
For a 315 bencher. The next tip you guys are gonna love. If you want to further stretch your pecs, but get a squeeze, then do ring push-ups. And the secret for pec development is to set the straps diagonal all the way to the edges of the pull-up.
There's no secret to pec development. You want to know what it is? Eat a lot of glycogen, like potatoes, starch. Eat a lot of starch, glycogen. And guess what? And do this kind of work that he's doing, this pump work. And they're going to get massive, bro. And I mean massive. Just eat that shit all day, all night. And you're going to get massive.
This way, you have the complete humeral adduction.
Look.
Because if you
cut out everything else, cut out everything else. Cut out everything. Cut out all the chocolate bars, the fake food, everything, the fruits and vegetables. Cut that all out. Just eat your protein, some meat, and eat potatoes. Go to the gym, whatever. Eat your potatoes. Go to the gym, and eat them all day. And I guarantee you, you're gonna get fucking massive. You're gonna look like a steroid dude, bro. A steroid dude.
Having it narrow, then you're not squeezing into anything. But here, you already start in the stretch, but you have to actively do this. So check it out. Boom. You can go really low, just like deficit push-up, and then across the...
And here's another thing. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy will help you with your force production. It will not make you physically stronger. Physically, your muscles, they will tear. They will get injured and tear, whatever, lifting a heavy weight, okay? But if they've been damaged, repaired, and remodeled stronger, bigger and stronger, then they won't get injured. But if you're weak and then you didn't do any of that, they'll get injured. But who cares? The point is, it's on force, man. Lifting heavy weights, force. That's it. Force production. It's not based on that.
Body and squeeze the pecs. You can put them together as well. So go slowly with rings. Oh. And try to keep it level with your pec. Pressing low and in. These are difficult with just body weight. The vast majority of lifters will never have to load these if they slow down the tempo, focus on isometrics, and also elevate the feet. So the same things I showed you with the deficit push-up can be applied here. So we're getting the stretching and squeezing, but what if you want to intensify the squeeze a little bit more? Well, here, you want to rotate inwards. This is called the RTO push-up. So now you're getting a squeeze on the upper chest. So here the arms can come out, maximally stretching the pecs. Then you're converging. Oh, and rotating. And there you have it. So even if your body angle isn't changing that much, as in the case of doing decline push-ups, the fact that we're externally rotating is changing the alignment. So just like a reverse grip bench press biases the upper chest, so do ring push-ups, including ring dips. So imagine an exercise known to build the lower chest can build your upper. That's how you know this is legit. And of course, it's flat, so it's a nice little hybrid exercise. And RTO will truly humble you, and it builds straight arm conditioning strength. So to keep you injury free and teach you how to properly maneuver that scapula. You do any press after this, your shoulders will feel that much better. So it's like the low to high cable fly, but on the floor. So you're flying here.
Can you imagine Alex has been doing this in his bedroom or whatever? He's like he lives out of his room. He just does these exercises 10 years straight doing that. What about playing sports, playing soccer, swimming, riding, basketball, doing a bunch of stuff? Why not do that? Why do you have to stay there doing the exact same stuff forever and lifting hell? That's why I say these people are gym lifting slaves. They're a gym slave. They're a lifting slave. Get it? You're a slave to anything that makes you a slave, that you have to keep doing to be good at doing it. If you have to do this to be good at it, you are a slave to that. You understand me? You have to practice, keep practicing at doing that to get good at it. You never built any muscle. You never built any real muscle. You put energy in the muscles. Shit, you put some phony energy in there. Get it? These sarcoplasmic muscles, but you never built any real muscles because you were too busy. I gotta be good at doing these exercises. You're too busy, focused at being good at exercises, when in fact, you forgot about getting good at doing what? Damaging these muscle fibers. You don't know how to be good at damage, repairing, and remodeling them. That is the true secret in bodybuilding. If you know how to damage these muscles, you understand me? Well, they reach an M&D size limit where the progenitors beyond or could donate any more exonuclei to that domain to support further muscle growth. Well, if you know the secret how to get over that, then you are the motherfucking man. Get it in this world. But if you don't know how to get over that, you're just wasting your time. You'll be small and weak like Alex the rest of your life. Remember, that force is going to start going down as you get older, and you start losing muscle mass as you get older. The moment you reach the age of 30, you're going all downhill. You're losing muscle. You may be gaining energy in the muscle fibers by eating a high carbohydrate diet, but you're losing muscle as you get older. Well, some people try to maintain a lot of this force production. I'm not saying you can't. I've maintained it for quite a while myself, somewhat. I suffer from my own problems. I have some nerve damage, but still got enough force production. But I know that the force is going down. And with muscle mass, when the muscle starts to go, so will that force and everything else. It does decline with it as you get older. Wouldn't it be nice to be, when you're 80 years old or 90, to be like you are now in your like 30s and 40s or something like that, with fucking mass and muscle, like real muscle, and not lose a lot and still be strong, have force and muscle and walk down the street? Now that's impressive. Right? Instead of being a shriveled up prune walking down the street, I was good at lifting weights, pumping energy in my muscles. Oh, that's great. What were you good at? Why do you look like that? Because I repaired and remodeled and damaged my muscles. Oh man, are you on steroids? Well, you could say I was on steroids, but guess what? It was a repair and a remodeling, dude. In the natural world. Yeah, man. Get it, dude?
Last tip, if you want maximum chest activation on any push-up, then always assume a planche lean. Just like leaning forward on dips biases the chest more than the tries, so does this apply to push-ups. So in this case, make sure you're not bouncing back towards your heels. Be on your tippy toes.
The question is this: what good is doing push-ups? What are you going to use this for? Carrying your shopping home? Is it for basketball? Is it for diving? Is it for swimming? Why are you doing push-ups? If you want to get good at swimming, then swim. You understand me? If you want to get good at running, then run. Now, if you want to get good at doing push-ups, then do push-ups. Get it? And you'll get good at doing them. Yeah, man. You understand me? Just do push-ups and you'll get good at doing them. Now, if you want to damage your pectoral muscles and repair and remodel them bigger and stronger, well, then you're going to have to be unaccustomed, untrained, and unfamiliar. Now, if you don't like that, then like I said, don't do it, though. Get it? Don't do it, dude. Get it? Do what Alex is doing. Be a lifting gym slave the rest of your life. Yeah, man.
Leaning all the way forward, almost like you're flexing, as in having a bit of plantar flexion, like you're working your calves. So flex your calves a bit. Maybe that'll do something for you. Not. So stay forward. You're gonna have to protract for the starting position. So I don't recommend prisoner reps here, especially if you want that straight arm strength down in the future, but stay leaning and then go all the way in front and stay forward. Don't push up back. So a lot of guys will lean.
I can tell you this. Hold on a sec. Sorry about that. I messed up there. I don't know what happened there. Where did that go? Just a second here.
If you want to.
I think I was right here. Sorry about that. I think we were right here. Here we were. Right there.
So stay forward. You're gonna have to protract for the start.
I wanted to say, man, like, yeah, this is crazy, man. It's just a waste of time.
Starting position. So I don't recommend prisoner reps here, especially if you want that straight arm strength down in the future, but stay leaning and then go all the way in front and stay forward. Don't push up back. So a lot of guys will.
Look, this, like I said, glycogen in your muscles become toxic. The more you load in them, too much of it in your muscles is toxic, okay? And it could cause metabolic diseases, it can cause cardiovascular disease, it can cause a whole bunch of disease because it's not natural. We are carnivores. We don't eat complex carbohydrates. We eat them, but we're not supposed to eat them, okay? And so you eat them and then you load more of this glycogen artificially. Here's the thing. Your body makes ketones. You are a carnivore. Your body creates ketones, but you are artificially loading glycogen in your muscle by eating carbohydrates. That is artificial. And so the more of this artificial stuff that you load in your muscle doing these exercises, you're creating what? Sarcoplasmic muscles. That's why they call it artificial muscle growth. That's a type of artificial muscle growth. Sarcoplasmic muscles. You're trying to grow them for no other reason than to grow them for the visual aspect by them loading fluid inside them. Get it, bro? Yeah.
Lean and then push back like this. That's too easy. So this is a neutral, normal push-up. You want to be leaning forward and stay forward.
Okay.
If you're 180, 200 doing these planche, but you could brute force it to a certain extent. And this has helped me a lot in achieving a really ugly straddle. Take that as you will. My only implication is that leaning is gonna build more chest. So as you can see, after doing all
I'm going to tell you right now, if you load more artificial by eating an artificial diet, carbohydrates, which is an artificial diet, that is not a human diet, if you eat more of that, you will load more of this glucose or glycogen into the muscle, and then those pecs will get bigger. Okay, man? It's really simple, dude.
these push-ups, my pecs are ballooned to the max.
Many people, look, there's a lot of people online, look at them. They carry a lot of fat and a lot of sarcoplasmic muscle. What is that? It's an energy source. So they eat a lot of carbohydrates. They're eating an artificial diet. Now, some people, it affects them worse than other people. So how do they build up how is their body so big? Well, it's so big in what? In triglyceride, in the fat. Now the muscles, they're so big, how? Again, sarcoplasmic hypertrophy in their muscles. That's why they're so big. Get it? A lot of it is big. I'm not saying that a lot of these body types may have more muscle fibers than you, and they can shoot for more force production. Definitely, they're big people. But that energy, too, helps with force production. Energy creates force. So you're eating an artificial diet, carbohydrates, will give you more force production. That's why on a carnivore diet, when you eat it and you go to the gym, you notice you can't exude that much force. You understand me? Yeah. That's why people say, I don't feel so strong when I go to the gym on a low carbohydrate diet. And what's a carbohydrate diet? It's an artificial diet. Get it, bro? Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. Hello?
No benching.
Yes, you look cute, Alex. It's nice, the posing. I do it myself on my channel too. I pose and everything. But I'm carbohydrate free. I've been carbohydrate free for over a year right now. I just eat meat and some fish. I show it on my channel what I eat all the time. Just fish and meat, bro. Fish and meat.
Just push-ups. So I hope you try out these form tips, and I will see you in the next calisthenics segment.
And I hope to see you again in the next calisthenics. Calisthenics is great. Body weight exercises. They will make you better at doing those movements. Doing calisthenics will make you better at doing calisthenics. Doing bodybuilding will make you better at doing bodybuilding. Get it? Look, doing sarcoplasmic hypertrophy training and eating an artificial diet will make you better at creating these artificial muscles. Now, if you do muscle damage training, well, then it'll make you better at what? Damaging, repairing, and remodeling these muscles. Get it bigger and stronger. You understand me? Now, if you want to get better at force production, then shoot for force production and maybe some of this artificial diet, and it'll help to increase the force production. Okay? It's still artificial, though. It's still artificial. You are eating an artificial diet, and you're using that to create more force. Try and do it on your natural diet. What's a natural diet? Animals. Animals is a natural diet. These carbohydrates that you're eating are unnatural. They're not natural. They're man-made, whatever. You're eating them, and then you're exuding more force production. Stop eating them and find out for yourself what will happen. See what I mean? See if you are all so strong lifting a force production without eating an artificial carbohydrate diet. Get it, bro? And see if these muscles will last without eating an artificial diet. When you eat a natural diet, see what happens to your body. It returns back to what? Homeostasis. Think about this. Why do they always say that if you stop doing these things, your body will return to what? Homeostasis, a natural state. Get it, bro? Yeah, man. Anyways, so much to think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I'll see you in the next one. This was probably one of the most important videos I've ever made. I mean, I hope I didn't leave anything out. I'll see you in the next one. If you have any comments, comment down below. I'll try to answer your questions. I'll see you in the next one. And I am absolutely not hating on Alex. I've always liked Alex. I've watched his channel since the beginning when he started. I've watched it for years. And then I finally started my own channel years ago. And then I lost it because everyone was against me because people don't want to hear the truth. They hate the truth. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends.